Hey, welcome to Musings, episode number 277.
We're already in mid-October, October
Oh,
12th.
gosh, I know. I was having dinner with a friend last night. We were talking. She's getting married in a couple weeks, and then they go on their honeymoon. And I tell her, yeah, and you get back, and then I'm gone, and then I get back, and a week later it's Thanksgiving, and then we're only like
Yeah.
4 weeks to. I mean, already getting through Christmas in my mind on some of this stuff on calendar stuff. So just a crazy amount of speed this is going. So.
Well, just to give you an idea, if you get paid every other week, you only have 5 paychecks till Christmas.
Oh God! Which means I only have 10 because I get paid every week, as long as I work every week.
Yeah.
That's the thing with being a gig worker. As long as you work, you get a paycheck.
That's
So
right.
that's why I try to always get a couple days in, even when I'm going to be traveling for shows or whatever, and so I have something showing up in the account.
Yep. So we got a full show ahead of us today. Lots to talk about and promote and just have fun.
Now you're a fan of this movie, right?
Oh boy, I am. It's just been forever since I've seen it.
I think I own it already on Blu-ray somewhere, but I saw this was on sale on Amazon, and part of the reason I got it was there's some bonus content and didn't have. They did like a theatrical cut. I guess there was a scene cut from this where a Chris Knight character was raising in a chair with balloons or something like that. It got cut out for some reason. I was like, oh, okay. So
I'm afraid of a lawsuit of somebody trying it.
And I think that's what it was. So I thought it was fun. So I picked that up. I said I got a really good deal on it, and they were at it marked down. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll buy this to the collection. And because I've always liked the movie, and it came with the digital version, so I can have the digital. It's one of the ones I don't watch a ton of, but I've watched it several times over the years. And it's one of a fun, great '80s comedy. That's one of my go-tos anymore. So I picked that up. So I was like, cool. So. But that's not what we're going to show you today. We got a lot of other cool stuff. But hey, we got to knock out some ad reads. So why don't you go ahead and get us started with the Teen Titans of Real Estate? Why?
Because you matter. That's right. So Teen Titans of Real Estate. Why? Because you matter. But even though we utilize the latest in tools and technology to make your home selling and or buying experience the best possible, we never forget at its core, it's a people business. And we really do take the time to get to know you. You're not just some nameless face out in the internet void that we really don't care if you buy or sell a home. You're just another number. We don't treat you that way. You are an important person to us. And specifically today, I want to talk to all of you who we know. You are our greatest sales force. You guys know us. You trust us. And when you're out there and friends and family members, coworkers, whoever, if they mention real estate, maybe potentially making a move in the next 1, 2, 12 months, tell them you know a realtor. Give them our number, 586-232-5144. Tell them to talk to Scott or Jill. We'll take really good care of them. Even if you're not looking to do something until spring, why talk now? Well, sometimes you could have things on your credit report. There could be situations in your personal life that might hamper you from maximizing what you can get come this upcoming spring. So we can help guide you now. Get all your ducks in a row now so that when the time comes, you'll be in the best possible buying position. And of course, if you're ready to do something right away, we're happy to help you as well. So Team Titans Real Estate, I posted the link there, Team Titans RE on Facebook. Follow us for all your real estate updates.
All right. And we've also got Larger Family Chiropractic Center, PC. Post their link on Facebook. You can find them too. Click on all the links. Every single one. Go on all our pages. We got them all there. They're everywhere. Yeah. Like 18 different links. You guys see one if you're only watching one. But a Larger Family Chiropractic Center, PC, located in Belleville, Michigan and Dexter, Michigan. They take great pride in providing the finest chiropractic care to each and every patient. Offering on-site digital x-rays, massage therapy, orthotics by foot levelers, young living essential oils, aromatherapy, full line of vitamins, all in a family-oriented environment. Give them a call, 734-697-4244. Visit them online at LaurierFamilyChiropractic.com, as well as here on the Facebook at Lauringer Family Chiro. That's where you can find them at, and click the call now and then like them and send them messages and start working on getting your stuff healthy, because that's what chiropractic care does. It helps you out a lot and get you're not just and the thing is, there's a lot of more stuff I'm seeing articles pop up that it's not just about cracking your back, cracking your neck, things like that. It's all kinds of different things they're doing to make you be healthier and active in your daily life, and it's for all ages. In fact, they adjust newborns.
Yeah.
So if you've got a newborn, they come out, and I've heard a couple of stories where they've had issues of jaundice and stuff like that. Doctors do their one thing, chiropractors they do a little adjustment, and other times, it's just a slight adjustment gets everything flowing better and clears right out. So,
Yeah, the birthing process. I mean, we all do it, but it's a traumatic event on the body. I mean, we're getting squeezed through a little tiny hole there, and
I think
things could go
the
out of alignment.
best recollection. Do you ever remember that movie Lady Hawk with
Oh yeah,
yeah, and it was
was that Matthew Broderick?
Matthew Broderick, yeah. And as he's coming out of this mud hole, and he talks about how he hasn't cruised on anything since he came out of the birth canal. So, so that was always kind of funny. I always like that bit, but that's a good movie too. So, but yeah, so check out Large Family Chiropractic Center PC, as well as Bardstone Publishing, bardstone.com. We're gonna be talking about a little bit about that today as well.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pop it up real fast.
Yeah,
so
we are Bardstone along with Kevin Meinert. We basically are promoting ourselves, but we also, and Bardstone is a sponsor of the show.
Yeah, so this is our pre-launch page. We officially launch next week. We'll talk a little bit more later on. I'll show you a preview of the pages and the covers and everything that we got going on. But if you click the link I just posted in the comments there, you can go there, click the notify me on launch, because we're going to have some really good early bird specials. And you don't want to forget, as soon as this launches, you're going to want to get part of it and hook into some really amazing deals there. So Crimson Shadows is on its way. It's looking good.
Yep. I'm going to be working on my cover today, my suits cover. There's a hint.
Oh,
it looks dirty, but it's a hint.
Oh,
just a hint.
That.
Yeah. You'll see more once we get everything all done.
Just a slight tease.
Yeah.
I'm busy cleaning here because I accidentally bumped my coffee, and
that's why I use a sealed container, so I can do this. Once in a while I get a drip here and there, but I'm not going to spill it. Why? Because I'm klutzy.
My Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 cup failed me.
Yes, horrifically.
You have failed this city.
I have to get you a sippy coffee cup.
Yeah. So I'm going to really quick just run and grab some paper towel.
Okay.
I've been using like regular lined paper to soak it up just so it doesn't go onto my keyboard.
Gosh.
But
there's even have paper towels nearby. I don't either. But hey,
well, right there.
On that. So okay, I will hold right here, guys. Gotta wait for Scott to come back. So yeah, we're gonna be launching the Crimson Shadows. We'll be talking more about that today. Oh, he's back already. That was fast.
My hand hit it. I got a text in from a customer, so I was just quickly responding because they just needed a phone number, and when I reached for the phone, I hit this cup.
Yeah. Scott mentioned about with the real estate. If you guys being our people that watch us and know us being our biggest advertisers, that's true in everything. So
yes,
you got to let people know when you have a business, you have a job or something that they may be able to, use you for in terms of bringing the business to you. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that goes true with anything. So if any of our friends out there, they have businesses they're promoting, hit us up privately. Let us know what's going on, stuff like that. Cause it's good to know what's out there. It's like we're going to have
friends at T-24. They were a great sponsor for a while there, back in the day. We still give shout outs to them and help push their Kickstarters and other events that they do.
And like Bob Hickey's been a guest a few times. We'll be coming on soon. He's got Sketch Magazine going again, got an online platform going on. So a lot of cool things going on promoting independent comics, especially the Kickstarters. Yeah. So that's another thing. Just check out Sketch Magazine. Just Google Sketch Magazine. You'll find them.
We're also using them to promote our Kickstarter launching next week.
Yep.
So we'll do a little preview of that too. So if you have a Kickstarter, if you want to advertise through Bob, we'll show you the links for it.
Yes. Excellent. So I saw a trailer last night and I hadn't seen this yet. I kind of heard it's coming out. Have you heard about the movie Violent Night?
No. Oh,
David Harbour.
Harbour, yes.
Yeah.
What's his name in Marvel? Crimson Guard or something?
Something like that. Yeah. Crimson Guard.
His movie.
Yeah. But this one is his Santa Claus movie that's coming out. And reminds me of there was a comic book several years ago called The Last Christmas, where Santa Claus was basically taking on all kinds of bad guys and a lot of fighting and everything on. So this reminds you a little bit of that. So I'm gonna pop the trailer up here, and so let's take a look at this fun little piece of trailer.
You ain't driving, are you?
I steer a little, but the ranger do most of the work.
This is my 4th year as a Santa. How about you?
I started the whole damn thing.
It's Christmas! We decided that you could have one gift early.
What is it?
That is a direct hotline to Santa Claus himself.
I can talk to Santa.
All right, revelers. Welcome to your worst Christmas ever.
Let's go!
You have $300 million in your personal vault. That's what I want for Christmas.
I don't want any trouble, okay? Someone's gonna scooch up that chimney.
Who is he? Because he's not your typical mall Santa.
Santa, are you there? Daddy said you were very busy tonight. My name's Trudy likes to. Are you gonna help us, Santa?
Yeah, Trudy.
Santa?
You're on my nice list. Santa Claus is coming to town. Time for some season's beatings.
Who the hell are you?
Boss, what if he really is the real?
No such thing as Santa.
These bad men, they're all on my naughty list. Naughty. That's naughty!
And what do you do to the naughty ones?
I give them a lump of coal.
Where is it?
I gotta watch.
I believe in you, Santa.
Which one of you did that? Prancer? So unprofessional.
That looks good. I like it.
They pretty much almost show the whole movie in the trailer, which is what you expect from a movie like this. But I think it's gonna be hilarious.
I'm totally blanking. What was the one that came out last year that was kind of
2 years ago was Fat Man with Mel Gibson.
Fat Man. Yes, I
And
thought
that was
too.
great. I ended up buying that one digital.
That one
As
even
one of the
incorporated elves into the storyline.
Yeah, and he was a different Santa. He was like, kind of like Northern Canada or something like that. And the guy was all upset because he never got anything as a kid, so he's coming after him. So it was a whole different type of thing, but both were definitely a little hardcore Santa. So
wasn't that the storyline for Santa Claus 3 with Tim Allen? Wasn't the guy, the kid, mad and or something? Or
no, you're thinking Santa Claus 3 was the one with Jack Frost that had where he wanted to be Santa. You're probably thinking of the elves one, the cartoon.
Oh,
and,
yes.
And the little girl was mad because
Prep and Landing.
She was being blamed for being naughty, and it was actually her little brother was doing things, and so she stole the thing from the coal elves, and they got the passwords, and they wanted to be. Those are some of my favorite. I love the Prep and Landing. I wish they would have done more of those. Those were a blast.
Those were fun. I liked them. First one especially was really good.
Yep. I like the second one when they introduced the brother. And then he's like, jingle bam.
Well, and we're at the time of the year where we're doing the crossover. So a lot of people, part of their ritual watchings right now would be Nightmare Before Christmas as we approach Halloween. So that's a favorite this time of year too.
Yeah, and that one gets a lot of people have it. They do it for their Halloween ritual, then they do it for their Christmas ritual as well. Mm-hmm. It does cover both pretty well. But yeah, I got a lot of people watching a lot of the Halloween stuff. I did watch that Hocus Pocus 2 the other week.
Okay, how'd you like that?
I liked it. It was fun. Yeah, my only complaint, I'm not gonna get too detailed in the story. It's a basic story. It was fun. I liked some of the new songs that Bette Midler sang and a bunch of other stuff. And they introduced a whole new cast and of people. Is whatever it is with Disney anymore is you can't just have villains be villains. They have to somehow. You have to almost feel like they redeem themselves slightly, even. And that's what happens at the end this year is when they're being banished again. The two sisters get banished. Bette Midler's left and she doesn't want to, be without her sisters. And, she's lost her powers now, basically. So she ends up going with them, but it's like they give them, almost like a pass, like, oh, okay, hey, you're bad, but you're only bad because whatever. They showed her as a kid. They were born bad. I mean, I'm sorry, they were just bad kids. They meet up with a witch, and they became the new Wicked Witches, the new coven, and the movie is fun. It kind of set up a new, I think, for a future movie or TV series.
Okay.
Away from the original witches.
Okay.
So
very good.
But it was fun. I think people enjoy it, but the first one's still much better. So
yeah. So if you're a fan of the first, you'll probably like the second.
I think so. Yeah. And even though, oh gosh, who was it? She played Laverne. She was on
Penny
Marshall. Yeah, and then her brother. They played the devil dressed as devil and his wife in the first one. Of course, they both passed on now. So they did do. You see them on TV from that scene in one of the shots. So it was a little homage to them.
Oh, okay.
So I thought that was pretty cool that they threw that in there. So, but yeah, and then I did read the Thora Birch was asked, I think, to be in it, but she couldn't because of filming obligations that she already had during the same time.
Okay,
so she couldn't get away. So she said that's why she wasn't in it. She wasn't excluded per se, but since she couldn't be in it, they just didn't include anything about her in it. So.
Okay.
But it's fun. It's on Disney Plus. Watch it there. I mean, it's not going to theaters at all. So, but a lot of other cool stuff. A lot of people I know are watching a lot of the different things. I started watching the Treehouse of Horror on Disney Plus. I love that they have them all there. So you can watch all those. And there's a few other things here I'll watch here and there. The other specials. Bet you I'll get a viewing in of the Peanuts. And
there's a lot of stuff to watch between all the different networks. It's hard to keep up. I'm definitely falling behind. I've fallen behind on the Rings of Power. Part of it is I can't explain it. Jill and I were trying to watch it. We like it. We're enjoying it. But like, we'll look at each other and be like, is this almost done? And we'll look and it's only like 30 minutes in. And it feels like an hour and a half has gone by. Like, I'm not understanding how we are enjoying it.
Sunday is the season finale. And I mean,
we're like 4 episodes behind.
I'm way behind. I feel the same way. It's just, I'm bored with it. I really don't feel like I'm being entertained with it. So I've stopped watching it. And I know some people are loving it. And I love the ones that have to defend it. And I'm sitting there going, look, don't defend it. If you love it, great. Don't tell me I should be loving it because you love it.
I'm trying to love it. I will say I am enjoying it. But like I said, there's something about it. It's dragging. I can only watch it in 30-minute increments. I can't watch the full hour. Whereas Game of Thrones, I'll watch the full episode and be like, oh my God, it's already done.
And even with like the Hobbit movies and Lord of the Rings, I could sit through those just fine when I got them on. Now, 3-4 hours gets too long. Sometimes I'll take a break halfway through, but not half an hour. It's like 2 hours in, and things like that. This, I just can't continue. I watch it and I'm like falling asleep while watching half the time because the story is just very blah to me, and it's just not really pushing it far enough. And I think that it's like they're trying to rewrite a lot of the lore of Lord of the Rings because there's a lot of things they can't use. I found this out after the fact, and since I've kind of really lost hope in it. I really don't see. Now, House of Dragon, I've been enjoying that, even with the time jumps, which I think are a little irritating. I understand what they're trying to do. There's no reason to stick in some of those eras for a long time, and they had just did another 1 episode time jump this past week. And they've come to an end of not the season, but of another part of the storyline that's now going to change everything again. Yeah. But it's not going to be changing everything for a time jump. It's going to be changing dynamics within the last few episodes they have for the season.
Yeah, this time jump didn't bother me as much. I think just because the kids, we didn't get to know them that well. Yeah. So having new actors in the roles didn't really impede it much. Whereas the last time jump, people have really fallen in love with the actresses playing the two princesses. But now I think enough episodes have gone on. I've gotten adjusted now to these new actors, and I'm really liking them in their roles. And with the kids, I'm fine with. Definitely interested to see where the kid with the eye patch ends up. I have a feeling him and Matt Smith are going to eventually be the ultimate battle in the series. But really liking where it's going. This last episode was even though it was once again they're doing a lot of setup and storytelling, foundation laying, but they always have those shocking moments. And Matt Smith had a great scene with somebody who was trying to make a claim to the throne to their little island, and
Yeah, the driftwood
Driftwood.
throne.
Yeah. So I liked how that ended up.
Yeah, that was I wasn't necessarily expecting that at that
Yeah.
point. And I was like, okay, well, hey, that's truly Game of Thrones feeling. So I like it. I've been enjoying that. And then we got 2 more episodes of that. And the preview for this next week looks very intense on them setting up almost battle lines in a lot of ways between the families and even within the same family. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. And definitely, I like the queen and the princess Renari. I'm bad at saying these names.
Yeah.
But Rhaenyra, that's what
There's
Rhaenyra.
so many names to
Yeah.
remember, and then with all these other shows too. So you got the Lord of the Ring names, you got the game House of Dragon names, or all these weird names. It's just I no longer even think about their names.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the next 2 episodes, seeing how that ends up. It'll be I think it'll be a lot of fun, and I'm enjoying that. And I'm enjoying it way more than I thought it would, because of course I was coming into it with complete disdain for Game of Thrones. So
yeah, it's interesting. Starting off, my hopes lied more in Rings of Power, and I was cautiously optimistic about House of Dragon. Now it's kind of flip flopped. I like House of Dragon better, and Ring of Power, I'm gonna finish it, but it's gonna be a chore.
yeah,
I hope it picks up.
well, I do too. I mean, it's one of these you hate to see it fail, but at the same time, if it's just not good, if they really can't get the storytelling down, then it just needs to fail and go away. Then, so
I wouldn't mind if it failed, only because I wouldn't mind if like Amazon bankrupted itself and went out of business and Bezos lost everything. So I'm fine with that. Plus, I was going through my credit cards. There's so many channels I pay for, and I'm like, oh my god, I forgot I even had this channel. So I had to go through, and I canceled like 3 or 4 channels. And I'm like, I don't watch this ever. Some of these I don't even remember signing up for. I wonder if a family member signed up for them or something. I'm like, why am I paying for this?
Yeah. Well, I pay for my Netflix. I have Amazon Prime, but I use that as much for shipping and everything else.
Right.
Without everything else. So I'll keep that. I've been paying for the in fact, let me pull something up on that. I've been paying for the Apple because it's $5 a month, and I keep forgetting to cancel it. So, but then I find something I want to watch, and that's all. I'm going to pull up something here, and we'll talk about that real quick. They have a new movie on there, Zac Efron movie, The Greatest Beer Run Ever.
Oh yeah,
and I saw this. I was like, okay, and it is in theaters. Now I want to say I did not realize this was in theaters, and I saw it was on Apple Plus. Like right now, they have a couple of showings at the Cinemark in Ann Arbor. Southgate's got a couple, probably some other ones around the way there. So I'm gonna pull up just a picture here real quick, and I am becoming more and more impressed with Zac Efron as an actor. I think he's really coming into his own. I mean, he went through a while there where he's doing some bunch of comedies, got himself like kind of in fit shape, something like that. And this here, of course, he's not. You'll see this in the image here. This is just a picture of that. He's just he's playing just a normal guy from New York, and he's got a bunch of buddies that have been drafted. They're overseas in 1967. They're all in Vietnam, and they're finding out one guy died, and then they found another one, and his sisters, been protesting, and then talking about how this war needs to stop, and all our people killed. And both have the same thoughts on they want everybody to come home safe. It's just the reason to be there. He's Zac Efron's with his parents and older people he knows, that because he's a little bit older, where it's like they're over there fighting to protect us from communism. Younger people are saying it's not about communism, this is something else entirely, and they don't need to be there. And so it's the whole they don't get too deep into the semantics of what the different sides. Well, basically, he's sitting around and drinking with his buddies and at the bar, and Bill Murray's in it. Bill Murray has a small part playing the bartender, and he says, "Yeah, somebody needs to take our his boys and talking about their friends, a beer." And Jack was like, "I'll do it." He goes, "I'll take him a beer," and he's been drinking all night. So when he sobered up the next day, they're like, "No, I'm going to do that." And so he finds a ship that he can get on. It's Merchant Marine, because that's what he's been doing, and he's home on leave for a while, and he makes his way to Vietnam, and he takes with him like a big old duffel bag from the bar full of Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a little humor in this story. It is based on an actual true story. So it actually happened. In fact, I'll see if I can find the one of the pictures, the original picture here. If they posted it online or somewhere. Oh, there it is. And all the guys that were alive in the movie here are still alive, at least as when they made the movie. So this is the guy over here. That's the Zac Efron character. That's Chicky. And then one of his buddies is in here, and then the rest are just the guy's squad mates. So this is the actual picture taken. And what it was is he makes his way up to a hot LZ, basically. He gets in, there's a firefight going on. When he shows up, he's all excited, like, like, hey, I'm here to see so-and-so. And everybody thinks he come in and
he just shows up with like a ton of beer.
Yeah, when he shows up dressed as a civilian. So in the first place, when he gets off the ship, he goes into the military office there, asks if somebody knows so-and-so. And it's a guy he knows it's an MP there, asks where the other guys are. So he finds out. And he's talking to, goes to this place and talks to his colonel. He wants to get a lift up there. And so he asks, and they show up and they go, well, who are you? He goes, I'm me, and you're not just you're not military. No, I'm not military. And one guy goes, oh, and he calls the captain on the camera. Oh, it's one of those guys. They think it's CIA.
Oh.
Because he says he's a tourist. And that's the code they were using, was they were tourists.
Because tourists just go to war zones.
Yeah,
well, they do now in the Ukraine.
So he shows up at that first one there to find his buddy, and he shows up, and there's the sergeants in there and everything else, and they're like, "You're here to see someone?" He goes, "Yeah." And he talked to him. He's like, "Okay." And he's laughing. He's like, "Furious." He goes, so he tells him, "Say you need to get up here now." And he's like, "Now we've got enemy. Basically, there's enemy around." So they show the guy running and being shot at the whole time to get to this base camp. And Zac Efron, in the meantime, hides under a tarp. And the guy comes in, he jumps and goes, "Hey, it's Bryce." You're like, "Chicky, what the hell are you doing here? I brought you a beer." So, I mean, you get the humor of that, but then you see after that some of the realness of the war and him with his buddies. And it's all in all a good movie. The humor at the beginning really helps levitate everything through as it gets a little heavier and darker. And you see some of the things that were going on at that time in Vietnam. Russell Crowe plays a reporter that's with him through part of the last half of the movie, and he sees him early on. So if you have Apple Plus, I definitely recommend it. If you are looking to go to a movie and see a good movie, I would say go see this. It looks like it would be fun to see on the big screen. I wish if I'd known that, I probably would have tried to go see that. So I definitely liked it. It's based. I guess there's a book too. It's written by John Chicky Donahue. That's the main guy, and JT Malloy. See when that came out. So it came out in 2020. So there's a Kindle edition in that.
Okay.
I may have to get the book to read it, because I'm sure there's more in there than what they put in the movie in that. But it was I said it was just an interesting take on the war without trying to be anti-war or pro-war at the same time. It just showed both sides and just leaves it up to you on how you feel on things.
Interesting.
So I definitely recommend it. And like I said, it was not too dark and heavy towards the end. It did cover some darker things that happens. It's war, things happen there. But it was nice to see that the main guys he went and saw over there, because when he got there, find out two of the other guys, and one of them was when was missing, had been confirmed dead, and that was always tough. They lost a lot of guys in their neighborhood. So,
well, from the promotional tour of promoting this, Zac Efron's been doing a bunch of interviews, and he was just recently, I think it was Jimmy Fallon I saw him on, and evidently Marvel put out a casting call for a Zac Efron type actor. And so Jimmy Fallon asked him, like, well, what is this? Like, did you know they're looking for a Zac Efron type? And he looks at the camera. He's like, Marvel, hello, call me. So he's definitely interested in doing a Marvel role. He can definitely get in shape. He definitely could pull it off. I'd love to see him as a Marvel character. And like you said, he's really developed as an actor.
I think what helped is he went through a few years back. He had an alcohol problem, and he went through rehab, got himself cleaned up, and that was part of his issues on some of the stuff and he got serious about not just being alive, but also being an actor. So
yeah, they also addressed. He looks a little different now. and there's rumors of him getting plastic surgery. Well, what happened is he actually shattered his jaw. He broke his jaw.
Yeah, I'd heard about that.
So, in the repair process, sometimes when they redo bones, you do look a little different afterwards. So, he talked about that a bit.
There is plastic surgery involved because they're repairing a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. So I mean, but he didn't.
But it
have
wasn't
like a
purposeful surgery.
Yeah, it wasn't like the Bob Costas facelift I saw in the baseball game
Yeah.
last night.
Exactly.
And his really bad dye job.
Yeah.
So no, it's fine. So we got Kevin popping up. Hey, Kevin.
Kevin's in the house.
Yeah. So we're gonna be talking a little bit about our joint thing. So why don't we cover that real quick? So,
Yeah.
and we'll cover it at the end too. But we've got the
let me pull it up. I'll do a sneak peek.
Yeah, Crimson Shadows, issue number 4. The end of the first arc.
So we've got our preview page up. The campaign isn't live yet, but I still have to do some additions to the campaign as far as to finalize it. But I do have some of our covers up, so I just wanted to give a preview of those so everyone can see what they're in store for. Mm-hmm. So we've got the unlimited edition cover here. This is going to be our primary cover here. We got this woman who is captured by Dracula. You can guess if her fate's going to be good or not. Mm-hmm. Then we have our limited edition cover. This is going to be limited to 75 copies. Normally our limited editions are 100, but we're going to make them even more limited this time. So we've got 75 issues being printed up of this one by Kevin Meinert. Another person who's not having a good day. This is issue 4 of Crimson Shadow. So our first act is being completed by this issue. So issues 1 through 3 kind of built up the story, laid foundation. Now this one is where the payoff is. A lot is going on in this issue. It's a double-sized issue, 44 pages. So it's a big issue. Mm-hmm. It's another limited edition cover, limited to 75 copies. This one is mine. It's a homage cover to Chamber of Chills, issue number 19. And I really liked how that cover was. So this is my homage to that cover. And then we got Coming Soon by Brett Pinson. Yeah. He gave us a little teaser a little bit ago, and that will be posted as soon as it's ready. This will be also limited to 75 copies. It'll be a limited edition. Then we got our Ultra Edition. So usually we only have one Ultra Edition where it's a run of 50. This time we're going to have 2. We have Kevin's cover. It's going to be done in grayscales, but then red foil for the red highlight. So it'll be nice and sparkly. And then the red and the Crimson Shadows logo also will be red foil. So it'll be a metallic red, which should look really sharp on there. So that one's going to be done. And then the other one is going to be a metal one. And this one's done by me. We got poor lonely Frankenstein there out in the alleyway. Looking sad Frankenstein. It's like the sad Keanu Reeves memes. But so we got 6 total covers, but wait, there's more. I'm also revealing, I don't have them here, the rare curiosity editions. These are for the Uber collectors. All of these covers are going to be done as a gold cover, gold monochromatic color, and it's going to be a 1-of-1 run for each one. So there will only be one printed, and those will be $99, but it'll be printed on the cover, 1-of-1. So there will be no other copies ever printed of the gold covers, one of each. So those will be available for you super collectors out there.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
we'll be launching that next Tuesday night. So we'll probably do a little get together launch party on here, and so you guys can check us out. And
yeah, looking forward to that. It's going to only be going for 3 weeks. It goes from October 18th to November 3rd. So you get in it while you can, and we're going to make it happen.
And if you're missing any of the previous issues, there'll be some available as add-ons. So keep that in mind. You can definitely add them on there.
Yes.
And we're running low on everything, guys. The issues are going. That's why after issue 4, we're going to go into a trade with this next year.
Yep.
And that'll happen sometime after around the fulfillment time. We'll be talking about the trades, getting ready to start launch Kickstarters for that. So
so I'm excited for that too. And then moving on to the next story arc for Act 2 of the story. So this, if I stay on pace, I think the entire primary story will be about a 12-issue arc. So we're about a third of the way through.
All right. Very cool.
Yeah.
So excellent.
I'll only be about 98 years old by the time it's done.
Unless someone comes into a lot of money and we can just pay to have it done.
Actually, in all seriousness, we're a small independent company. It's just basically the three of us, and then we get some guest artists involved. But since 2020, we've done, I think, 12 Kickstarters or something like that as Bardstone. So I mean, we've been cranking out the work for 2 years worth of work.
This is our we did the 3 issues of Poe, then we did the trade. We've done 3 issues of Crimson Shadows. Scott's also done the 2 books, the Frankenstein book and the Jekyll and Hyde book,
and then we
as well as the 2 pin sets.
Pins. Yeah.
So there's been a lot that's been coming out. So we'll have a lot more next year too.
Yeah, so we've been busting our butts. So we appreciate all you fans who have been part of this and keeping us going. And we're really hoping this time that we're going to break through that wall and take it to the next level. Because if we can really get, ultimately we want to break into like the $10,000 fundraisers and stuff. Because once we start getting there, we can really bring on help, and I can hire on more artists, and that would mean I can produce stuff faster. I really want to get to where 3 or 4 issues a year are being produced. Right now we're averaging about 2 a year. So, but it takes money. So we're really hoping to bust through 10,000 on this one so we can bring on added artists.
Exactly. So now, did you get a chance to watch the new Hellraiser movie?
I wanted to. By the end of the day, I was so exhausted yesterday. I was in bed by 9. I only saw like the first 15, 20 minutes.
We'll give a little teaser.
I intend on honestly, there's not many spoilers you could do. I mean, it's Hellraiser. Everyone dies.
Yeah. Well, not everyone, but the thing that changed it was funny was Kevin thought I enjoyed the heck out of it. I always liked the original one, and it's been a long time since I've watched it. The sequels I never was as crazy about. They were okay. But the original one I always liked. And now we have a new Pinhead. Now, Pinhead never had an actual name in the original novelizations that Clive Barker did. Clive Barker called it the Hell Priest or something like that. But they're not actually demons. They're actually from other dimensions. And in a lot of ways, I mean, they're just as far over on the sadomasochist side as you can get. They're all about pain and pleasure. But, for them, pain is pleasure. And causing pain and stuff like that. So, great new designs. Similar enough to original, completely unique. Really enjoyed that. And it was. They had a new. Here's how the box came about, and then they showed how it got started, and then to the 20-year later, and that's where we followed the main story. So this is the new Pinhead, played by Jamie Clayton. She did fantastic. I mean, it doesn't really matter the Pinhead character, male or female, playing it. It's not really the sexuality means nothing. It's all about pain, and there's other the creatures involved as well. So definitely, I enjoyed it. I really liked the way they did it. The Cenobites were fantastic in this. They have a great last act. I thought was a lot of fun to watch in the horror side. In a lot of ways, it felt like an old school horror film. It felt like something that could have come from the 80s or 90s. A little bit updated special effects and updated film quality. Other than that, it had that feeling. I felt like I was watching a classic horror movie. So. Really liked it.
Yeah, it definitely had the feel of the original. The parts I was watching. So looking forward to it. Pinhead's an interesting character. Doug Bradley was great as Pinhead, but it seems like this new one. I haven't gotten to the parts with the new one yet, but from what I've seen, she seems like she does a great job.
Yeah, and when we do finally see it, it's a great reveal. It comes in and handles everything that is that. But yeah, basically, it's you got Jamie Clayton playing Hell Priest, and then Jason Lyles as the Chatterer, the Cenobite who chases a couple of the people, and then you have another one called the Weeper, played by Yinka Olurunif or something like that, and then you have Selena Lowe as the Gasp, and then Zachary Hing as Asphyx. So it was great, and then the main bad guy really is the rich guy you start seeing at the beginning. He's the main protagonist in this, and really, the Cenobites are just fulfilling what the box does. The box has its levels, and we get to there, then you get your audience, with Leviathan. So
one of the questions I asked Brett off air is, are they technically demons? Are they what is it? So here's the definition from Hellraiser Wiki.
Yeah.
The Cenobites are extra-dimensional beings who are mutilated and brainwashed into torturing humans for all eternity in the labyrinth. All Cenobites were once human, with the exception of Angelique, the daughter of the demon god Leviathan. So the Leviathan is the demon god of hell, I guess, is the technical definition there. And so they all once were human. And if you are deemed worthy by Leviathan, you are transformed into a Cenobite as well.
Yeah, which a lot of people, the main guy thinks he's going to. His whole thing is he's thinking he's basically wanting like the riches of the world and blessings and everything else, and the blessings for them is a completely different thing. So
yeah,
but it's based on the original one was based on a book called The Hellbound Heart, and it was a it was a short novella that he wrote, and it was I think it was part of a group, but it's been released by itself a couple times. So
who wrote it originally?
It was Clive Barker.
It was Clive Barker. Okay, that's what
Clive Barker's wrote a ton of books. He's got trying to see here. Let me find his books here now.
He's been around forever.
Yeah.
Like how old is Clive Barker?
He was born in 52.
Was he?
So he is 70 now. So
yeah, because there are certain things that I'm just surprised. Like, what was it recently? I forget what it was. There was something recently I was watching. I'm like, oh, that's Clive Barker too.
Yeah.
It's
just, he's produced a lot of stuff, but it's like if you look at back starting in the 80s, he had like a book called Damnation Game, did the Hellraiser series, which is Hellbound Heart, and then a couple more in the last few years. He did the Scarlet Gospels, and Hellraiser: The Toll, which he did story, and someone else wrote it. And he's all kinds of different. He's just a known novelist, been around for a long time, and that did short story collections. He's wrote a little bit of poetry. Did a bunch of plays. Which I've not seen anything of. I wouldn't mind reading some of them. Like there's one here called Frankenstein in Love. I'm like, that sounds like fun. And he's got some different collections, as well as the fact that, for film work, he's been a director since 1973 when he did a short film called Salome, and then really took off in the 80s with Underworld. Rawhead Rex was always a great one. And of course, Hellraiser, and then Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. Nightbreed was always one of my favorites. I enjoyed that one a lot. He worked on the Candyman series. He did Candyman as an executive producer, and then Candyman Farewell to the Flesh. He did help with the story as well, executive producing. Lord of Illusions was when he did everything on, and things like that. So he's just, he's been around for a while doing all kinds of different stuff. He's had some video game work, things like that. But and I'm sure there's a lot of stuff he's not credited for, that he kind of worked on that he said, I'll just work on it, you pay me and leave me alone. So here we go. It's best movie they've done in the Hellraiser franchise since Hellraiser 2. Yep. So I really liked it. It was good. So I highly recommend it. And it's nice to see them take a chance on kind of like an old school horror. And to me, it felt very much like the old school. They weren't trying to make it woke or anything like that. It was just good old horror.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, good stuff. For me, there's something about the 80s horrors where like the more newer horror is just pure horror. Like Saw, for instance, it's just about the gore and ripping people up. But the 80s, they came up with such great personalities for the villains. You had Pinhead, you had Freddy Krueger. These characters kind of transcended the horror genre and became their own franchises that were really amazing. It doesn't seem like the modern day horror does that, where the villain is something that lives on beyond the one movie. It's Freddy Krueger is the franchise. Like he just became such a personality,
Yes.
So I don't know, something seen. I love that that almost it's like a caricature version of a character, but that's what makes these films enjoyable to me.
Well, and that's the thing. That's why I liked a lot of the horror 80s stuff, and then a lot of stuff now. I saw it wasn't bad on a couple of things. The first couple was like, okay, it was different. I liked the one they did with Chris Rock. Kevin and I actually watched that on one of the flights this past year, and that one actually had a really good story. And it was, and Chris Rock was acting really, because it was a comedy.
Spiral? Was that Spiral?
Spiral, yeah, I think it was Spiral. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, and he was serious in that one.
Yeah, and the thing was, it definitely was a different take in dealing with the whole Jigsaw and everything else. So, but I highly recommend that one too. if you want some good horror. But a lot of horror anymore, I said it's a lot of just, okay, here's this creature and they're killing everything and there's no real story and you get bored with it halfway through. And
Yeah.
we're used to it by now. The Purge movies, I like the first one was okay. That one you were definitely rooting for people to get killed, especially the family because they sucked. And then I like the one the Purge election year. I thought was actually a much better of the Purge movies. And then, but the rest of it, it's all the same thing. It's Purge. I mean, they're out to kill people, and sometimes they have a reason. Sometimes it's just because they have 12 hours to kill people.
Right.
So, things like that. So it's different horror movies out there. Some are good. I haven't seen it yet, but I hear it was the Black Phone, the Ethan Hawke one.
Mhm.
Black Phone. Kevin saw it, said that was really good. So I'm looking forward to eventually seeing that one too. So, but yeah, the Blumhouse guys have been doing some good stuff. I like the Happy Death Day movies. I wouldn't mind them seeing them do one more of that. Those are fun. And Blumhouse is actually, I think, the better right now of the companies producing anything horror because they're actually telling story. There's a lot of story in it, and not just the killing. And they actually do take the story seriously enough to make it good because they want to entertain you through the whole thing and not just the slasher stuff.
Yeah.
So other than that, just give me highlights of every slasher movie out there if that's all you want. So, but better move on because we're getting close. But Andor. Cover a little bit of that last week. Or the new episode dropped today, and this is episode 6. I'm treating this as like the end of the first arc of the season because there's 12 episodes, and they're finally getting to the points where they need to at the end of this episode here, which is episode 5 that we're talking about. We're finally I know some people have been complaining online, and I'm liking the story because we're seeing a lot more exposition. They're explaining a lot more around all the characters. We're learning more about the collector character, and we've seen him from Rogue One and Skarsgård's character. Mon Mothma, we've seen more of her throughout these episodes. We also are seeing a lot going on with this group that Andor is with right now, just learning a little bit about them. And they find out in this episode that he's being paid.
Right.
He's a paid mercenary. Where they're all there because they claim to be part of the rebellion.
Yeah.
So
we're talking about last week's episode, just for clarity's sake. But one of the complaints I'm reading from people is it's not Star Warsy enough, and I'm just not seeing that. It's very Star Warsy. I mean, the only thing missing are Jedi, but at this point in the story, you got to remember, there's only like Darth Vader, Obi-Wan, and a couple others. Yoda's out on Dagobah hiding. There's not many Jedi, so you can't really have a Jedi-centric story at this point. I feel like it's very Star Warsy. I'm loving it. But you also have to remember, this isn't just laying the foundation of this series. This is also pretty much the origin story of the rebellion. We're seeing how the rebellion is starting. So they're really setting up Mon Mothma, which it's a character that we know ever since Return of the Jedi, but we've never gone deep in her. It's never been a character that they've developed and showed what her family is and what she's like. She's always been just this cameo appearance type character. So they're developing her and giving us a background there and how she's involved. And so there's a lot going on here beyond just setting up a single series. They're setting up the entire rebellion. So I like how they're doing it.
And I'm wondering if we know they've already said Andor will be 2 seasons, 24 total episodes. I'm wondering if some of the stuff they're setting up is things they could spin off into other directions if they want to continue in this realm of Star Wars, which is the kind of the middle realm. It's the post prequel, post New Hope, or pre New Hope. So it's all taking place in this era that had not been explored outside of really novelizations.
Yeah.
So I keep thinking there might be some change. That's why we're seeing some of these characters and we're learning who certain people are, and might see some differences from there.
I could really see this spinning off into live action Rebels.
Yeah.
They have the actors being cast for the other series, Ahsoka, and it would be very easy to use Andor to launch into a live action Rebel series. Yeah. So I hope they do that, because assuming the actors are good, but so far the casting, at least visually, they look like great choices for the characters they're doing. So we'll see.
Yeah, I did see something online. I don't have a picture of it, but it was the back of the chair for Ahsoka. They've started filming on the Ahsoka series.
Yeah,
so
and we got Tamora Morrison around still, signed with them, and we could easily bring him in as some clones, some aging clones. for Rebels type stuff, or even just a whole new series that follows completely different characters.
I would like to see a whole new series. I wouldn't want to see necessarily do a live action Rebels with the characters we know, because we've seen their art through the animated. We don't need to go live action with it, but I could see them following more if they wanted to go and do a slight spinoff and take it back to certain points within this and follow Mon Mothma more. But I think she's actually gonna get a lot of show in this next 6 episodes.
Well, the character I can really see them doing a springboard with is from the Kenobi series, Ice Cube's son.
Yes.
What's his? I forget his real name.
Yeah.
Anyways, he heads up that rebellion group, that base that was set up that Kenobi was hiding at with Leia, and then Vader shows up and they have all that. So they introduced him, and I could see him being the type of actor who wants to have a whole series, because that would be a great springboard for his career.
Yeah, I think so. He's a good actor. I mean, he played his dad in the movie Straight Outta Compton, and I mean, he looks just like his dad. So it's O'Shea Jackson Jr. That's who plays that, and he's a great actor. I mean, really is. I mean, playing his dad, I think, was probably a little bit easier because he knows his dad. But he was in Godzilla: Rise of Monsters. He's been in a few other movies. He's built up a good career of film work over the last 12 years. So he's not just springboard out. He's been around for a little while.
But he's also at that level where for Disney or Lucasfilm to take him on to develop him as a character, he's not established enough for people to look at him and think of other roles.
Right. And that would be one they could follow him. They could even merge it with any characters they're going to introduce over the next couple of years, 2 years of this. So there's different things they could do if they wanted to continue on in this realm. I like this era that we've been seeing with the Obi-Wan series now, Andor, and even Rogue One was technically pre, because it led right up to the Battle of Yavin, or led up to New Hope, but not the Battle of Yavin, because that took place a little bit later in that storyline. So but I'm enjoying this series a lot, and I like the fact that we're getting not your typical. We're not just seeing stormtroopers running around. It's not constant blaster fights. We're seeing more. We've seen TIE fighters. We've seen some TIE pilots. But we're seeing also the different Imperial military arms that are out there that you didn't see outside of the Imperial Navy, which is all the stormtroopers.
Now, from a non-spoiler point of view regarding this week, what I do think is the build-up that they've been doing the last few weeks, I feel like it pays off in this episode today. So when you watch it, I feel like it was worth taking the extra time to develop those characters. I think the payoff is better.
Yes, and it's not a hard ending payoff, but it's definitely they are at the end of it. There's a lot more story to be told as they're moving on. So it wasn't like they were doing here's 6 episodes. And they decided to make it 12 just to do whatever. You can tell this is still blending into the next 6 episodes. So
yeah, for sure. So I look forward to see where this goes. It's nice that there's 12 episodes, but in a way, it's almost like this could be the first 6 episodes definitely is one story. It looks like. So I think next episode after episode 6, today's episode, I have a feeling we're going to time jump a year, and then we'll see where things have progressed from that point. Because they got to keep progressing it. What was it? The start of this was 5 years before the Battle of Yavin. So they've got to keep progressing it to get it up to year 0, eventually at the end of season 2. So I think there's going to be a time jump of a year after this episode today, and next week will be a year down the road.
Yeah, because there's and if it's not right away, the next episode will be part of it, and then they'll do a time jump, and then based on whatever they end up happening. So definitely, I still recommend it. And I know the people that are complaining about it, a lot of it is they it's boring, it's dragging, it's this and that. There's story, there's characters you can follow, you can understand, and there's a lot more going on. And they're definitely dealing with the political intrigue here more than they are with anything else. So I definitely recommend it. So for sure, I agree. Yeah, watch it. Yeah, support it. And then I've got my tickets. I'm going to go next week Thursday, so we won't talk about it right away. As a Black Adam. I'm curious. I'm going to see it mainly because I have more curiosity to see how they handle the story. They're throwing a lot of characters into it. I have to say, the more of the trailers I see, the less I'm liking it. So I'm definitely going to go see it so I can give it a good take on it, because it's something I was more curious because I like Shazam. And I just feel like it's another typical Dwayne Johnson role. I don't feel like he's acting. It's just
Dwayne Johnson. I don't know.
I'm wondering though, even though he's a lot of it, with other characters like Pierce Brosnan, I'm wondering if it's we're going to see a lot more of other characters than just the Dwayne Johnson character. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm curious about. So that's why I'm probably going to go see it. I'll give it a try because I don't like to discount all the DC movies right away. But it's like they already announced the Flash. They just did some reshoots with Ezra, and I'm like, who cares? You talk about this movie for 5 years. You've already talked
Right.
to that. I'm tired of that. Just make the movies and bring them out. That's what they've done. Black Adam. Now we're starting to see it come out. It's like, here it is. Great. I'll go see it. We know we've got Dr. Fate and a bunch of other characters involved. So we got Hawkman, and so I'm curious how they're incorporating these other characters into this incarnation. So
yeah, I think honestly for Black Adam, I was excited for this movie, but like I said, every time a new trailer comes out, I'm like, I don't know, I'm becoming less and less excited.
I think it's more just the promotional thing. They feel they have to only show like 65% of it has to be just The Rock, or Dwayne Johnson. And I think what it is, realistically, they're thinking that's what's going to draw the people in. I think what trying to push is the women that love Dwayne Johnson go see this movie with their boyfriends' husbands, and they'll come in and say, "Oh yeah, he's so good looking." And
I think I'm probably gonna sit out opening day or two and just wait and see how reviews are. Just because I've got too much stuff to watch as it is, and plus the whole DC universe is dead now. Like, where's it even going?
And this is one of those things where I want to go see it because unfortunately, I just don't. The reviews anymore of anything is always skewing more negative than anything.
Yeah.
Because people just want to hate right away. So that's why I don't trust most of the stuff I read anyways on reviews.
No, but I trust people I know. And if the people I know are coming back going, then I'll be like, yeah, I'll pass then.
Yeah. And I understand. I've done that with a couple movies, and I've asked you that you've seen them, and I felt that way. But I had no that I didn't have that direct interest going anyways. And that's the thing. There's so much content to see out there, and I love going to the theater and watching films, but make it worthwhile, make it fun. If it's gonna be crap, I don't want to go spend 2 hours in the movies eating popcorn watching a garbage movie. So
and they're trying too hard. I think part of it too is they're trying hard to make this thing where Black Adam is a bad guy, but he's going to do good things. Like, I kill people. I'm a hero that kill people.
He's the anti-hero. He's always been an anti-hero since DC took him over, which means he's not good or bad. He's just a guy that's there, and he has his own agenda.
But I feel like they're pushing that too hard. Like,
I think the trailer has to push that because there's so many people that have no clue who this character is.
That's true.
So they're trying to throw that out there majority of people that go see this, like 60% or more, never read any of the comics. So it's true. Those are people they have to entice to get in. If it's just the comic nerds are so picky half the time they don't even go. So
so we'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm just, and I feel like I've been hearing about Black Adam for 4 years now. So it just feels like kind of like what you're saying, like just get it out by now. How long have the DC seems to have done this with all their movies where like even the Batman versus Superman, for how long was it Superman 2? And then it became Batman versus Superman, but it was like a hype. And for years, it took them like 3 years to put out the movie.
Yes.
And by then it's just like, oh, is that still coming out?
Black Adam was announced right away after Shazam. And so it's been a few years now.
Yeah.
Part of it's COVID delayed.
Part of it was COVID.
Nice thing is they haven't been sitting there this whole time going, hey, we got Black Adam. And they didn't really announce all the other characters for much until just recently. So we didn't have to spend like 3 years like, here's all these other characters we're throwing in because we're reshooting the movie the whole time. But for fun stuff, they have the Amazon sale going on. And you guys can go buy me this right now. It's the Amazon Nerf Mandalorian Scope 10 official elite darts breach load. It's the Amazon exclusive 50.25 inches long.
Or buy it and paint it metallic black, and then you have a great prop.
I'm sure we've got a bunch of the guys that are the costumers in the Mandalorian groups and 501st that are buying that thing up, and they're gonna be doctoring that thing up pretty good. So I think it's cool though to come out with some of this stuff that you never thought. I mean, that was just a throwaway gun from the holiday special animated show they did. So so that was kind of neat. So that's about it. Not much else going on here right now. So we're going to probably sign off here, and I gotta get to work on this cover eventually anyways. Probably grab a little bite to eat, but next week we'll talk a little more Andor. We'll cover the first 6 episodes next week, I think, just to kind of give you guys the full arc, as well as we'll be launched with the new Crimson Shadows. So you're going to be inundated with all of that. So please follow us along, click the links, find Scott on Kickstarter. If you don't follow it ahead of time, we'll post some links along the way. We'll all be sharing on all our different socials. So definitely support that. We're all gonna have covers. So those that are fans of mine, those are fans of Kevin's, or those are fans of Scott's, you don't like the other guys, you can still buy one of our covers and still support the entire crew because all of us are working on it. All of us have a hand in it, and we're all very proud of the work that we've been doing at Crimson Shadow. So definitely join us next week, and we will tell you guys. Hopefully, what I'd like to see is we launch on Tuesday night. By the time we go live Wednesday, we're completely funded. So come on,
that would be nice.
That's our goal, and get us to help us get 10 grand by sharing and saving, and let all your friends know. So, but hey, till next time, we'll see you.
Bye.